Hello everyone and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the third video in the SQL query explanation or training videos, which is part of Seismic Survey software. In the previous videos we saw how to prepare the SQL query, how to build the queries, compare on map and check the remaining points. In this video, we will see how to export the selected queries to different formats. First of all, we need to know one thing, that the export work on the selected query. So if you select, for example, one line, let's say this line or this line, it work anything here is work on only on the selected query. But if you select part of this point, these tools will work on the selected part only. So this is important things that you should keep in mind. Okay. Now first, the KML export, is the Google Earth point. So it's very easy. You just click export and it will say export. You choose the name, the point name field, for example, station value, continue, and you put it on desktop. Done. All point exported to Google Earth. You can go and check it. It's a bit heavy, Google Earth. So this is our line. We exported here with the station value for each point. It's very easy to export it from the SQL query up. The other format is the GPX export, which is famous format. We need to export sometimes to upload to the Garmin GPS or Garmin device. So you can export it as a GPX file. Also, if we have a look here, it's already all points with the station value name. Also, we can export to ShapePoint. ShapePoint, we have different formats. First is the point, and I can export to a simple data or full data. Simple data, the shapefile include only the base columns like track, bin, descriptor, easting, northing. Full data export, it's mean all columns in the database will be written to the shapefile. The other format I can export to or other geometry is the line and polygon. If I want to export to line segment, I can make the gap threshold, for example, 1 or 4, based on the bin increment between my points, and it will generate one line per track for each line. Also, sometimes I need the polygon corridor, so I can export with the buffer. Each side I can export directly. For example, here we have the receiver point, so I can put the gap threshold as 1. Buffer each side is 25. I can export it, for example, on a new folder 3. If I want to open it here to see it, I can add it. This is the point 3, and you can see I can make the fill color is, for example, opacity. So it's a corridor ready to use in a shapefile format, and I give it 25 the buffer distance, and you can check here we have 50, should be 50, around 50 meters. So this is all make our work more easy, more fast, and more flexible. Other shapefile format I can export is the seismic labeling. What I mean by seismic labeling, sometimes I want a shapefile for only the start point of the line, or end of the line, or start and end, or gap-based selection. Gap-based selection mean I want 1 point each 10, for example. For example, now I will make the start and end of the line. Then I will export it to shapefile also. When I will add it here, it will give me 1 point on the start and 1 point on the end. Okay, so this is what I mean by seismic labeling. It's also I can export the gap based with start and end, or I can get only the midpoint of the line, of each line. So all these format I can export from the shapefile exporter. What other format I can export is the Excel file. So I can export to a specific format. For example, I can write station value, local easting, local northing. I can set the precision for this. It means 2 decimal places I will be exported. I can save this format. For example, save is point easting northing format. Later, when I want to use it, I can just retrieve it. I can open in Excel, so it's directly open in Excel. Okay. Also, you can export to Excel CSV if you want to export directly, or you can view it. This is I can also export and import format list. All this format I can also export and import it. Other thing I can export is the SPS file. The SPS file have two parts. The batch export is for the daily production. It automatically detect the station Julian date, the station value command, and it will produce all SPS file for the daily source, daily receiver, daily resurvey, daily COG. If you are not happy with this, you can export each file separately, and you configure the start of each. For example, the descriptor on column 1, this track column 2, and like this. And the precision here is 2. So when I export it, also I can save setting to use it later. So this is the format of the SPS file we have exported. The last thing is the summarize point. Summarize point, I can also use the gap value. For example, for the receiver point, I have point increment is 1. So I can click summarize, I get the track from bin to bin number. Or I can take another format, is the by station. I click summarize, so it's start, end, and number of point. Also, I can get patch summary. So for example, now I have query 9, daily source, daily receiver. I set these queries. You can add a query from here. You set the gap value for each query. For source, I set to 4. For receiver, I set, and I can open in Excel. Now I don't have anything, so it's all empty. But if you have a prediction, it will give you the summarize, and each one with the color of that query. Checkpoint report is usually, if we have in the database checkpoint, you can check it from here. But now I don't have checkpoint, so I will not see it. Also, this export, you can check it from the export menu, the same. And in addition, you can export to SIG-B1, or you can generate a croquet file or reference file. All these you can make it from the SQL query. I think up to here I can finish this video. In the next video we will see how to work with design on map and offset on map applications. Thank you so much.